All right. Good morning. I think we are live, but let me make sure um, that it is. Sisters, can you help me check to see if it's
Yes, we are.
okay? Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much for joining us once again. My name is Mona Saga, and I am here in Houston, Texas. And I have my sisters with me who are going to introduce themselves. Sisters, please carry on.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Augusta Nosike. I am in Richmond, Texas. Thank you.
Yes, and then Sister Evie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is AP Simon Okube. We are appreciative that you have joined us today. You see, today we are seeking to discuss with good statesmen and stateswomen, not politicians, because we know that politicians will say, do, and give out anything just to get elected or gain power. That includes even selling their father's land and the people. So we want good statesmen and women because they are respected and skilled leaders of opinion and of their people. They guide their own people out of muddled water into clarity of purpose and safety. You too can be a statesman and a stateswoman. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Evie. Thank you so much for that. So our introduction, our topic today is the battle for nations trapped within the Nigerian space. The battle for nations trapped within the Nigerian state. We all know that everyone wants freedom. We know that we want a better life, but unfortunately, everyone does not have what it takes to go from point A to point B, from bondage to freedom, from trap to independence. The LNC and its MNN alliance has a very solid proposal that will liberate all the nations trapped within Nigeria. It is a strategy for self-determination. If everyone agrees that self-determination for all the indigenous people trapped within Nigeria is our destination, the next correct question will be then, what are the modalities to get there? So the modalities for undertaking the fundamental reconfiguration of the distressed Federation of Nigeria, bearing in mind that the activation of constitutional force majeure is the commencement of the implementation of the decision of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities as contained in the Freedom Park Declaration of December 2018. So today, we have a guest in the house who's not only present at that event, but is also a signatory to the crucial documents. Fred Agbeyegbe, Agbeyegbe, I try to practice to say this name right, Fred Agbeyegbe. So I'm going to have Sister Ekwe give a better introduction so that we can understand who our guest is today. Sister Ekwe, unmute yourself.
So many things to operate. Thank you so much. Yes, we have a guest in the house, Fred Agbeyegbe Esquire. He is the president of the Lower Niger Congress and the chairman of the MNN Alliance. He is an Ishekiri man. And for those of us that don't know where Ishekiri is an ethnic group currently in Delta State. He is a UK-trained lawyer with 2 PhDs from 2 UK universities in 2 different specialties of law. He started his career at the Whitehall, that is the Commonwealth Headquarters Secretariat in London. As an accomplished player, he is an accomplished playwright, writer, and author with many titles to his credit, and a much celebrated pioneer in the theater community in Nigeria, which eventually bettered what we know now as Nollywood. As the president of Lower Niger Congress and chairman of MNN Alliance, Fred Agbeyegbe has helped to successfully rally the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, that's NINAS, into decisive joint actions currently unfolding in the form of the impending joint multi-regional constitutional force majeure, being the implementation phase of the Freedom Park Proclamation of December 11th, 2018. You're welcome, sir.
Unmute yourself. I think he's on mute.
Yes.
He has to unmute.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we can
You're
hear.
welcome, sir.
All right, thank you for having me. I've heard so much and I'm very impressed about your activities. May the good Lord lead us home to Uhuru.
Amen.
Yep. Amen.
Awesome. So we're going to play some video clip to back up some of the claims that we'll be making today. So give me a few minutes so I can pull that up. And one video is about 13 minutes or so, and the other is less. So we're playing these videos because these are important these videos are important to understand when we say modalities, what we are referring to. So here is.
Let me remove your own sound again. Was a post-Civil War phenomenon that we have the state structure that we have today from the regions we had before. Atiku Abubakar talked about political expediency, which led to this. He also talked about fear. And I suppose he was referring to the fear of having a regional structure where you have a cluster of states working together who perhaps have been able to utilize their resources in such a manner that they become very strong and they become perceived as a threat to others or a threat to the center, which I suppose was the reason why he said, okay, let's break down this eastern region that wants to, succeed from Nigeria, and let's have different states form out of them. Is that fear still a potent fear in the country as at now? Because the former vice president talked so much about that. The political expediency, do we still have that need for political expediency? And is that fear still existing at the moment? Looking at how far we've gone from 1970 to where we are now, where you're having, people from the old eastern region in different parts of the country have invested so much of their resources in those parts of the country. It was quite similar to that way back as well. So is that fear still something that's logical or exists only in the imagination of some people? And I assure you that fear is worse now than it was in 1967. And I'm not speaking from the sidelines. I'm speaking in my capacity as the Secretary General of the Lower Niger Congress, which can claim to speak for those who are now saying they want to leave the Union in that territory. I can also speak on a country-wide scale, which was the reason we went to interrogate Atiku on the issue, as a co-convener of the Movement for New Nigeria. By the way, the map of that New Nigeria was the map I was showing you a short while ago, to say that we have come to where those things that were done, the states were not created post-war. The states were created, the first set of states were created 3 days before the declaration of Biafra. At the time, the Easterners were being slaughtered all over the rest of the country, and they fled eastwards. And that danger seemed to be pursuing them back home. And it fell on the shoulders of the then governor of the East to find a way to draw a line where people who are still alive will not be killed any further. It was in the period of that decision to draw that line that the government at the center, led by Gowon, now decided to truncate the basis of the region by creating states. So Eastern region was split into the rivers and the southeast state of the time being now Akwa Ibom and Cross River, to undermine the region and make it impossible for that region to stand up to defend those who had not been killed at the time. And from that point to date, it has been a further deterioration, so that we now have 36 states hanging loose with no capacity, as I said, perhaps for Lagos, with no capacity to fend for themselves because there's now oil money to use to fend for them. 704 local government areas created by Fiat. And you see who and who have done those things, and you see what it has resulted in the places where people are now saying they don't want to continue in that union. Assets that were seized, representation that is now one in which a majority has become a minority. The Igbo that all over the country can no longer have a voice in how their lives are run, whether it's the road they want to do or the electricity what they want to do. The only reason why I don't have electricity in the East today is that I cannot generate it, I cannot transmit it. And that is what the Constitution imposes on me. So those are the reasons, and it doesn't seem to be abating at all. Look at the last election. Look at what has followed. Look at how the governance is going on. And now we have operation of pythons and crocodiles dancing and smiling all over the place. Who wants to live with that?
Let's also look at the aspect of equitable distribution of resources. I looked through some of the recommendations that were made in the 2014 National Conference and even the 2005 National Political Reform Conference, and that's a component of the fear which we are talking about, the fact that a large chunk of the resources of this country, because I suppose resource control is at the center of all of this agitation as well. A large chunk of the resource of this country in which Nigeria earns its foreign exchange comes from a particular region of this country, which in essence is redistributed to every other person in every other region, in every other state in this country. How then do you ensure that such persons do not starve, such persons do not go hungry, and that there is some level of equitable use of resources? I know the argument would be, yes, there's no region in Nigeria, there's no state in Nigeria where there is no resource, but we're talking about the level of development of such resource. I'm sure you saw the recommendation in 2014 National Conference report. How then do you deal and help people who have that fear that if this restructuring we are talking about comes to be, that it might be favorable to some and far less favorable to others?
Bring your federation. If you bring your federation to a situation where it is working for some, is not working for the others, you have destroyed that federation, because those for whom it's not working are going to take steps to leave that federation. It's as simple as that. Before we begin to talk about distribution, the question of ownership of the assets will have to be established, because if a federation is a union of constitutions, each constitution is coming with all of what it owns, its people, its assets, to relate with the others, still being recognized as the owner, but contributing to the center maybe higher than what others bring. That's what was agreed at the beginning. That was what was abandoned, at the point in time in which Gowon in 1967 was 1966, July 66. At the point in time, Gowon was telling the world that the basis of the federation was no more. It is that basis that we seek to re-establish. Back to the matter of distribution. What is Nigeria? We have come to that crossroads where we have to answer that question. When you go to, if you want to understand that question, you go to the preamble of the Constitution, current Constitution, which says, we the people have solemnly resolved to live in a union to be governed according to this Constitution, which we now make and give unto ourselves. It is like the memo and articles of a company. People see the document, memo and article as one document, but there are two different documents. The memo creates the company, where Johnson and Jude and Michael have come together to submit themselves and their assets into an enterprise with the name XYZ Limited. The articles now begin to say what XYZ Limited will do amongst themselves. That's the owners of XYZ Limited. That's the as it is with the company and its memo an article. So it is with the constitution that first says that we are submitting our land and our people into this union to be managed according to this constitution. If you do not resolve that first leg of we submitting to this union, all the other things you write about the second leg, is a waste of your time. And that is where we have landed now, that the constitution in place is done against the will of those who are called Nigerians. So talking about who our assets are shared is way too far secondary from the issue at stake.
No, because I've heard you in several forums. I think you even filed a case in court, I think some 10 years ago, where you said the constitution we're using now is a fraud. The preamble that we the people does not represent we the people. At no point did Nigerians sit and said this is how we...
All right, so that's the end of that first part of this video. I am going to bring up the second part.
Tony Nadi from our Lagos Center. We're still talking restructuring. Now, I told you before we went on that news break, I wonder whether the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, taking his message to the people in the northern part of the country, is preaching to the choir. I mean, when you hear the sound bites coming from some persons from that region who really do not support this call for restructuring, and even the president himself, who recently said, look, Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. How do you cross this very big barrier?
The president is behind the times on that issue. It was the same Muhammad Buhari that stood on the podium at the United Nations asking his colleague heads of state and government to facilitate the independence, the rights to self-determine for the Palestinians and the Sahrawi Arab Republic of Morocco. There came in 2007 an instrument from the UN to settle the kind of matter that Nigeria has found itself confronted with. That instrument has to do with what we call self-determination. And it is that self-determination that those who appear not to be aware of that, paradigm change are still calling secession and treason and taking people to trial for insisting that they are no longer interested in what was imposed on them. And where we are on it is that whether anybody in Nigeria likes it or not, including Buhari, that right with the UN, by which the UN seeks to remove most of the wars. The UN discovered that all the wars, whether the First World War, the Second World War, all the wars in Africa and elsewhere, arose from one form of ethnic domination or the other. If it is not Hitler declaring that the Nazis were superior to everybody else, it will be the Tutsi being overwhelming the Hutus, or the Fulani insisting they are born to rule the rest. What the UN did by that instrument was to say, look, from now on, if you are in your ancestral space, no matter how small you are entitled to be there by yourself. And if anybody wants to be in a union or with you or some other business that will bring you, all of you interacting, that person must convince you. If you are not convinced, that person has to dress back from you so that you can use what you find in your space to the best of your ability to seek your advancement and happiness. And what that introduces to let us take Nigeria so that we can put it in context. Let us take Nigeria as a sick, as a sick patient, which has to be treated. That sickness is the over-centralization that came upon us in 1966. That is unitarism. That's the name of the sickness. The cure to that sickness is federalism. The treatment plan that will deliver that cure is called restructuring. And the very medicine, the very potent medicine that is at the heart of that treatment plan is called self-determination. So that if we accept that this patient is sick unto death, unlike what some people, including our president, seem to be saying, that look, this patient must, there's nothing wrong with it, it has to be the way it is. You know, if the rest of us, because he's only one person, he only happens to be president for now, if the rest of us insist, like Atiku is insisting, like those who are waving Biafran flags in the East are insisting, that we must take charge of what happens to us in keeping with that rights that have been established. If we accept that this patient has to be treated and we go into the process of the treating, it is that self-determination that makes it imperative to go to that renegotiation now. Otherwise, those who organize themselves will go to a referendum, and I can assure you that steps are being taken. I have myself been in places of discussion in New York, in Washington, everywhere, those who are going to get involved, because Nigeria, if Nigeria boils over, there are many stakes, that there are many things that will go wrong in many places. So we are discussing these things everywhere they have to be discussed, and we will go to referendum in the formations that we saw Scotland going to referendum in the UK the other day. We saw the UK said going to referendum in EU. What is it about?
Awesome. All right, so we're going to stop this video here, and Sister Augusta, please go ahead.
Sister Muna, a little bit volume is very low.
Oh, okay. What about now?
A little bit better.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Sister Muna. Okay, 60 years into Nigeria's so-called independence, and in the midst of the increasingly loud altercations and disputations over the being and the term of the Nigerian Union, it will be recorded that following suggestions by President Muhammad Buhari in France, there are those who seek the fundamental reconfiguration of the damaged constitutional basis of Nigeria were confused about what they wanted. The Eminent Alliance had on November 16, 2018, written an open memorandum to President Muhammad Buhari detailing the perspective of the self-determination collective to the restructuring debate. So this article that I'm about to read, we've already treated it, but I just want to go to what restructuring actually means. So let me start from what exactly constitutes a restructured Nigeria. Shorn of all embellishments, a restructured Nigeria in terms of content of outcome is that structure of Nigeria that would emerge, A, when the subnationalities, being the constituent components of each federating bloc, decide the geographical formation in which they would be relating, which means federating, with the rest of the union, having first agreed internally on what would best guarantee internal cohesion in the bloc within the context of the universal rights of each subnationality to self-determination. B, when the federating blocs decide what items of governmental responsibilities or rights they would cede to the federal government, what they keep exclusive to themselves, and what they may concurrently undertake with the federal government, with all residual powers, that is, anything but not listed under any of the aforementioned three categories, preserved for the federating units. Referendums and plebiscites are to be deployed as ratification mechanisms as appropriate at each stage, in keeping with and in a manner consistent with the imperatives of self-determination for each sub-nationality. The number of federating units will also have to be a fusion of the consultations agreements of the sub-nationalities in stage 1 of the stage 2 process outlined in the question 2 below, and not by the kind or whimsical dictates that brought Nigeria to the current 36 states quagmire. Number 2, how precisely should the restructuring be undertaken? Guided by the fact that a federation is union of constitutions, and looking back at what truncated the basis of Nigerian federation, the logic of the situation dictates a two-stage process undertaken in a certain sequence. Stage 1 would be to distill the regional constitutions of the proposed federating units as outlined under question 1 that would federate in the second stage, as was done by the 3 regions between 1957 and 1959 and ahead of the Lancaster House conferences of 1959. B, stage 2 would be for the proposed federating units already armed with their respective regional constitutions as distilled from stage 1 to meet, negotiate, and agree on the terms of federating themselves into one political union, as was done in the Lancaster House conferences. Referendums and ratifications are to be deployed as ratification mechanisms of Nigeria as appropriate at each stage in keeping with and in a manner consistent with imperatives of self-determination for each of the sub-nationalities. We may point out to Mr. President, it was the failure of all the governments of Nigeria since 1970 to abide by this simple logic of a federation that is responsible for the failure of all attempts to rework constitutional agreements of Nigeria, starting with the Constituent Assembly of 1977 to all the national conferences of 1994, 2005, and 2014. And so anything short of this two-stage process is bound to fail yet again, no matter how well-intentioned the convenance may be. Now that we know in broad outlines what restructuring means, Mr. President may be asking, how do we begin? From where we are now, especially with the 2019 elections so now. The best guide on how to proceed from where Nigeria is right now is to look at how South Africa eased itself out of the quagmire of the apartheid constitutional order between 1990 and 1994, under the courageous leadership of President Frederick W. de Klerk, when the apartheid-era South Africa arrived at the very situation Nigeria has now arrived at under the imposed Master Servant 1999 Constitution that has been repudiated and rejected countrywide, but to which a tiny band of political merchants across Nigeria hold tenaciously for skewed humongous personal and group benefits, even as the people, the country, and the society sink deeper into misery, decay, and retention. The government of South Africa saved and began the healing of their dying country by telling itself the truth in 1990, namely that the apartheid constitutional order could not carry the South African society any further, and therefore it announced a definite plan to terminate the operations of the apartheid constitution and immediately set in motion the transitional process called CODESA, which midwifed the process that birthed the wholesale replacement of the repudiated apartheid constitution. Nigeria is in that station, and at this time, that required this turnkey constitutional re-engineering, reconfiguration, and reconstruction, which has acquired the strict name of restructuring. So, Sister Ekwe, let's continue.
Thank you so much, Augusta. You see, for those that maybe joined late, some of these things we are reading is the work our guest, he was part of this work, is a signatory. So they've been doing all this together, and he's in the house today. So we are reading them out for you to see that this work didn't start now. It's been ongoing for about 20 years, and he has been part of it. So this is what my sister just read is the memorandum they sent to President Muhammad Buhari, detailing everything that needed to be done. So they will not say they don't know what they need to do. They know what they need to do. And want our people to remember that on December 11, 2018, the MNN Alliance rallied the indigenous nationalities of Nigeria to the issue of joint multi-regional freedom park proclamation, by which the alliance territories declared their rejection of further national elections under the repudiated 1999 Constitution. You see, with the level of insecurity in our land currently, nobody should be talking about national election That should be the last thing on our mind. Safety is the first thing. My people say ndubisi. The thing that should be on the mind of everyone is how do we secure our people, not how to vote people in, especially at the national level. And they have put all these things together. We read it just one document. My sister will read another document where they broke down everything to just 2 steps. 2 steps to solving our problem. The first one, dissolve Nigeria. Put an interim government in place. It's that simple. The second one is start afresh through referendum. Decide who wants to be part of it or who does not want to be part of it. So our sister will read another one because today we are telling you there are things that you can do as we, the people. These things are already on the table. Sister Augusta, please, are you ready to read the next one?
Yes, I actually printed it out and I'm looking for it right now, but it's okay. I can read from the computer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now let me read the second part. As Sister Epi rightly said, we have treated this before. We have treated each document, all the time. So now let me read the second part. Accordingly, the following steps were mandated by the Solemn Assembly. Number 1. The distillation of a charter of relationships by the ethnic nations of the Lower Niger, according to the aforesaid 1885 map, which may become the basis of the federative constitution of the proposed Lower Niger Federation. Number 2, a referendum of the peoples of the Lower Niger on the question of self-determination to be preceded by extensive consultations with the populace, mainly through town hall meetings, as well as consultations with international stakeholders via direct representations. Number 3, to avoid a repeat of the wicked expropriation of assets enacted against the people of Lower Niger in 1970 via the Abandoned Property Decree and Access Protection and Guarantee Scheme, APGS, to secure, at least in value, the assets of the people of the Lower Niger situated outside the Lower Niger territory within Nigeria. Number 4, a recall home for consultations of all persons of the Lower Niger elected or appointed, present or prospective, or in any other way connected with the management of Nigeria under the current constitution with a view to determining the propriety or otherwise and or extent of further participation in the affairs of the Union. There will be formal announcements specifying dates and venues for each consultation will be made in due course. Number 5, a standing all-purpose committee of the Solemn Assembly to be constituted to oversee the processes herein outlined and to deal with discussions involving all persons and institutions in furtherance to these mandates of the Solemn Assembly. As we prepare for all this important referendum on self-determination, let it be known to the whole world that the Union of Nigeria is now a disputed project, and until the disputes are fully resolved, all international stakeholders are hereby put on notice and advised to take these realities into account in their dealings. Thank you. So, Sister Ekwe, go ahead.
Thank you so much. So, guided by the contents of these 2 public documents of the Alliance of the Nigerian Question, please.
Sister Muna, volume, please. It's kind of like a bit low.
It may be your ear. Audience, are you able to hear us? I'm not sure.
Okay, let's ask, yeah.
Yeah, can you hear us okay? Sister, are you able to hear okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. But Sogos is talking about volume, so I don't know.
Yeah, it may be on your side.
Mine is max.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
It's okay.
All right. So, yes, so with all these documents, all these 2 public documents that we have read, this document is from Alliance on the Nigerian Questions. We are trying to get Sir Agbeyegbe, I'm sorry. Can you please precisely explain to our audience what the prescription of the MNN Alliance and its DINAS reinforcements are? That is, in terms of modalities for taking down the distressed nation called Nigeria from where it is now to where everyone would like to go. Yes, sir, you have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry. Yes. Can you, yeah, you have to unmute yourself. Tony, yes, there you are. There you are, sir. Go ahead. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. The questions are many, but we've been at it for so long. We don't really need any reference to anything. But before I say anything, I want the audience to realize the reason we have the problems that we have. It is not true that there has been any difficulty identifying what it is we are talking about, either the type of Nigeria that we want, like Buhari said, people who are asking are confused. We just had to make sure that he was not allowed to play so much to the gallery by submitting those details to him. I want everybody to know that there is nothing new in what we are saying, because they took away our constitution, they gave us one that suits them. Every time they rush towards a general election, because that is the certificate for going to share the loot in Abuja. And like I just happened a few days ago, we now have a budget for 2021 for 13 trillion naira. The license to share that loot is, in inverted commas, winning elections. Right. So as we are talking about putting the polity right, the politicians are calculating how much money is going to be available for spending, just for pet projects and recurrent expenditure, not for anything developmental. I think the audience should realize that the people they think they have elected, because we know what happens in this so-called election. As Providence will have it, this very day, as we sit here, there is an election going on in Ondo State, in which they have arrested people who went in there in one particular ward with 200,000 naira cash on them, trying to buy the votes. And this is what we call election. So why not spend 200,000 to buy votes if the access you are trying to get is to a much bigger loot? And if you are part of the sharing group to the tune of 13 million naira, trillion, in 1 year of 365 days, you can imagine that they will kill for it. And that is the only obstruction they have to understanding what we are talking about. I want that to be made clear, because even those who were in the trenches with us, putting all of these things together, now come up to say, what do you really mean by a federation? Surprisingly, intelligent people are asking, what do you mean by a federation? When they are operating a system in which there's only one constitution called federal constitution, with no supportive constitutions from the constituent bodies that make up the country. Now, the things that we have set out here and passed through resolutions, we have been shouting since 2011. For example, MNN came out in 2011 to say that Nigeria is a failed state. 2011 to now, we are still talking about the same thing. All the groups are saying the same thing. Now, even the people in the government, like the vice president a few days back, has told the whole world that Nigeria has cracks on the wall now and may collapse. In spite of that, a few days after, his boss, the president of Nigeria came out to say all those calls about restructuring, he has no time for that. And that the head of one of the biggest Christian church in Nigeria, and I think in the world, had actually made a statement as well, because the vice president is from his religious camp, to say that something really has to be done about this entity called Nigeria. The president's retort was that there is insecurity in the land, and there are 200 million Nigerian people to whom he owes the responsibility of ensuring their security, and that is all he has time for as we speak. So anything about restructuring, we should forget it. Nobody is going to force him into doing that. Well, that was not a surprise, because he had earlier said that the 2014 conference for restructuring was a waste of time. He was not even going to look at it. So he's not telling those of us who know anything new. But the question now is this: if anybody is still interested, because we are talking about something that is going to go to its logical conclusion, the issue of the rights that human beings have comes from God. It is God who created, it is God who provided the resources, it is God who decided that you are an Igbo lady and I am an Isekiri man. Nobody can change that. And those attendant rights cannot be taken away by anybody, even if they think they are succeeding by force of arms and coercion. So all we are saying is this thing has to be done systematically, and just in case they are still pretending they don't know what we are talking about, that is why we have taken time to go into the trouble of emplacing all the things that you have been reading. And it's not in Greek, it's not in German, it's in the simple English that we say is a lingua franca. So anybody who can now not read and understand, and who does not want to come along, is the one who wants to destroy this country. No human suffering will survive in the face of the rights that God gave to man. Now, really, there is nothing else to say other than to say that since you people have dragged this thing this long, and it needn't have come this far, people are now no longer going to manage the reasonableness with which they are attending to this matter. So let us see that even if it is not going to carry on, let us break it up peacefully and avoid bloodshed. Since the rejection of Aburi, which was the one instrument that would have kept Nigeria on a proper straight way, all we have had are rubbish. We have people mangling elections and setting up committees to make peace. And behold, it is the very person who forged the 1999 Constitution, who is the chairman of the Peace Committee for Elections in Nigeria. Isn't that ridiculous?
Laughable.
And they went and got innocent Ukiwe just to put somebody in front so that everybody would think, ah, there's an Igbo man there, or a former general of the militia. And then they brought one pastor, Kuka is his name, so that you have these three people. Abdul Salam, who lied that we signed a constitution and gave it to us, a military decree as the constitution of a people who are supposed to be federated in a union, is the chairman of the peace committee to have peaceful elections. What are these elections for, other than, as I said, to go and share, to be entitled to share that loot? So we have a right, and all the people who are contributing to our work, to whom we are grateful, have a right at this point to start by saying, ask me if I should, in fact, do I still want to continue as a member of this entity called Nigeria? That must be the starting point. If not, you'll be papering over all the grievances of the people and saying you are wanting to make peace. So that is where we are. Step one, you ask me, do you still want to be in Nigeria? I was not even actually asked that question ever before. My father was not born a Nigerian. He came into this world long, long before Lugard came to these shores. And of course, he died in Nigeria because he lived for 99 years. And here I am. I was 85 in July. I have great-grandchildren. They are all slaves to the so-called 1999 Constitution. We have not left it there. We went to court. Myself, Ojukwu was there. Oki Wole Soyinka saying, we don't even know how we became Nigerians. And they threw the case out. What was the reason given by the judge? That the people we are quarreling with are in Abuja. Why are we coming to Lagos to come and ask them questions here? You can see how flippant that sort of answer is to something that is really so serious. Part of the difficulty is that all the parties we have to deal with to get back our freedom, which they took from us by force, are creations of this 1999 Constitution. So it is really ridiculous that we are patient enough to be saying to them, let's have a two-stage activity to determine whether we should continue this entity called Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that input. And this is what we are talking about. You know, here is our elder statesman doing all he can at his age to liberate us. And what are we doing? We are delaying it. We are, you know, sliding backwards. We are running in circles. We are having an outburst. And if we don't change this, if we don't change this so-called, if we don't bring down this constitution and change the situation that we find ourselves in, it will continue. And right now we are talking about NZARS, and we're saying end Nigeria. It's not even NZARS that is the problem. We need to end Nigeria. Nigeria should not be in existence. Nigeria is a shithole and hellhole for human existence. It's not meant for anybody to be in it. It should be a place that you should go when you are going to hell, not when you are leaving. It should be a place. That's that hell that you've been hearing about. Is in that is where it is in Nigeria, where somebody will get a gun and shoot young people as if they're shooting animals.
Wow.
Saying end that country, end the country now. We've had enough. Enough of all this, man. How much money would you guys share on behalf of people's blood? How much money? How long are we gonna put up with all of this nonsense? How long? Sister
Muna, yeah, you know, the unfortunate thing is that the North has actually left.
They have left the building, my dear.
Ariwa has left Nigeria. They've changed their constitution. They are building their electricity that they will sell to Nigerians. The rest, the people that they conquered, they will use us to make money. They are building their airports.
From Daura to Niger Republic.
Exactly, railways. They have left.
Gas pipelines everywhere going towards them and for them.
So when they're telling you they're not ready for restructuring, they're actually lying. They have actually restructured. They have moved on. They restructured themselves and moved on. The people that are still fooling around are the Southerners, the people we are talking to today. That you are the one delaying this thing. You are the one sabotaging the effort of 20 years.
Yes.
We would have gone 20 years ago when the North introduced Sharia law in the North. Because that was the end. They moved out. That introduction of Sharia law shows that North is no more part of Nigeria. They moved out and started doing everything for themselves. Even when Goodluck came, he was building for them because that's what they wanted him to do. So for those that are looking for how to be president, you cannot do anything. You can't do anything for us. And stop delaying us. We're talking about, Sister Augusta, please go ahead, because we're talking about internal sabotage. What are the things that we are doing as a people, delaying ourselves and delaying our freedom?
Yes, the most unfortunate thing is that we're actually the ones sabotaging ourselves. That's the truth. That's the most unfortunate thing. And we have the political class that are sabotaging us every step of the way. We have the likes of Agbeyegbe. He's a senator. He's a senator that comes from is it the Abia State?
About
that he represents is hell. I don't know I can't describe. There's no
dustbin of a city.
Dustbin
has become a dustbin, and engineer Agbeyegbe is dancing around. He should hide himself somewhere.
And he's pretending that he is fighting for Biafra.
How?
But Abba, where he comes from, where he is probably the senator, there he's like, is a mess.
Dustbin is dustbin.
Dustbin is a Jebonim. Is the exact shithole that
he's getting his power from the supreme leader. Remember, the supreme leader is telling him, so he can do whatever he wants.
And that is why he attended their whatever's burial, to be able to garner the pains of our people and use it for his political purpose. Now, once he finishes as a senator, he wants to become the governor of Abia State.
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria, not for Biafra. He's not interested in Biafra. In Nigeria.
That's called pretense.
That's human being.
That is so sad. Now, we also have the likes of Ekweremadu. He has been, I think, a senator all of his life. He's been a senator all of his life. What has he done? What has he done? Now he wants to be the president of Nigeria. These people, they don't even care about our people. They were there and the Northerners were taking everything. The Fulanis were taking everything that belongs to us. And they're not doing anything about it. Now they want to become president today. Now that lately I heard that the seaport has been opened. They are still dangling carrots in front of our people, and our people are shouting hallelujah.
No, there's no seaport there. Those pictures we are taking from somewhere else. Don't mind them. They are fooling our people.
It's Photoshop. I can send you a plane of Biafran air now. I can make you a plane of Biafran and send it to you. Please, let's be serious about where we're going with this. We are
talking about the Biafran rogue franchises. All of them, there are many of them. There are many of them. All the people making noise, making outbursts everywhere. Nnamdi Kanu, the worst of the culprits. He is the worst of them all. He has no agenda. He is lately claiming that he has met with the South. He has met with the Middle Belt. And we all know that he does not have any alliance with those people. He probably met with the Agberos of the Yorubas, and he's trying to use that as having alliance. He has not met with the people that matter in Yoruba land.
The alliance that they told him about 7 years ago. How come it's now?
Exactly. They told him about this alliance 7 years ago. 7 years ago, he knew about this. He had this the same document we have been parading. People will say we are parading map. And they had this map all along. He did nothing with it. It is no. He did something with it by lying against everything written in that in all these articles and using it to make money at the expense of our people. At the expense of our, and he's still talking rubbish up and down, having alliance with who? Huh? Now, let's even leave that. Lately, one of our brothers that live, the guy actually lives in my city, Clayton Udo. He lives in Richmond, Texas. Came up recently. I was talking, saying, oh, that America does not have any, nobody is hearing about Biafra, America, this, blah, blah, blah. He's telling them the truth. Clayton had an idea of how we would get our self-determination. He left it and decided to join the bandwagon. And the bandwagon of rogues and thieves.
He's trying to be an ambassador, my dear. Give him a break.
Oh, yeah, that's the truth. They all want one position or the other. Okay, he wants to be an ambassador.
Online country. Online country ambassador.
Where there is nothing going on. All of us here, we were part of that team before. We were asking questions. A group where you cannot ask questions doesn't make sense. We were asking questions. Of course, they termed us as saboteurs and all what stuff, but we don't care because you have to ask questions. Now, Clayton Udo is coming out to say there is nothing going on. Nothing. after he had deceived our people, telling them that no one can you imagine? Because they wanted popularity, they want to be popular.
That's it.
Why would you want to be popular at the expense of our people? There's a pathway, there's a roadmap, there's a blueprint. You all got this. You all got this before we did. When we got this thing, we read it, we digested it, we said, oh my God, this makes sense. Because inadvertently, all along, we have been trying to give this Nnamdi all these ideas, and it would crush them at every step that you make. Meanwhile, they all had all this book. They saw these things, and they are making a lot of giving our people pain, letting them die for no reason, for no Biafra, online Biafra, Facebook Biafra, giving themselves titles of governor. The other one is also saying that where is the seat of power of Biafra? I'm not saying no one no more. They're already giving themselves ambassador of this, ambassador of that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Something has to, I don't know, it has to give way, man. It's no longer making sense. I will say, God, Fulani have God, they have taken everything you own, and you are there trying to feel like you make sense. When the pathway is there for us all, that we would all put our hands together and get the hell out of the contraption. We feel so choked up. Sister, we continue.
It's heartbreaking, my sister. It's
My dear, we are trying to point out these things to our people for them to understand and begin to think systematically. Another group of people that are wasting our time are the church leaders. We are asking them, are they not aware that the people being massacred are going straight to hellfire? That means, like Sister Muna said, they have been living all their life in hellfire called Nigeria. Now they come and massacre them, they go straight to the other hellfire. What have you done as a church leader? What are you doing? Now Kama has come to touch your money. That shows that in Nigeria, game is over. That your business is over. Now you can't even preach the so-called Christ. You won't be free to preach because they will retire you and tell you to go back home and take all the things that you have worked for. So you see, you cannot delay us anymore. You have to come out of the way. Let the people decide what they want. Stop deciding for us, please. Another set of people that are delaying us are the ignorant people. That's the ignorance of our people. Another thing that is delaying us is the ignorance of our people. And this is why when Sister Muna is crying and say, please go online, go and Google. Use your data to educate yourself, rather than come on this show and be abusing your mothers and grandmothers. Go and search and educate your mind. For instance, how does UN, what's the protocol for building nations? What is the set protocol that UN has put in place that said any nation seeking independence, this is what you should do? You need to find out. So that when somebody tells you, I'm talking to Trump, I'm talking to this, you know the person is lying. 2007, UN brought out the Declaration for Indigenous People's Rights. What they should do if they want independence is out there in public domain. It's not ambiguous. Like our father said, it's written in plain English. Go and get educated. Then we talk about restructuring, because when we mention restructuring, some people say, we don't want restructuring. Some people say, the greatest thing LSC we get is to restructure Nigeria. If you get Nigeria restructured, have you not done a good job? Because what we're saying is bring down this constitution and ask the people question, do they want to be part of Nigeria or not? So there are three things that this restructuring can get you: confederation, or federation, or no union, depending on what the people answer at referendum. It's a systematic thing. And like we told you, the North has actually moved on. They have restructured their land. They have restructured their own section. We are the only ones waiting. So when they're not telling you that they don't want to hear restructuring, they're actually lying. They read your script and use their script to start, because the LNC have come with their scripts and presented it in public when they introduced Sharia law. They were actually in that meeting at Pronaco. After Pronaco, they moved on. They moved out of Nigeria and started building their land. But they held us down while they were doing that. So if you are there shouting, no restructuring, you're actually being stupid. You should sit down and examine what is the content of this restructuring. How can I use it to get what I want? Instead of just being online shouting Biafra, 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 I'm fooling around. We do not need to die anymore. Especially now that we have majority through the MNN, NINS alliance. We don't need to die anymore. Then another thing that our people are ignorant about is the role of President Trump. President Trump is not going to mention Biafra. President Trump is not going to mention Biafra today and you have Biafra tomorrow. No president of another country makes a declaration about another sovereign country. It does not happen. And President Trump is not even interested in something like that. Rather, he is interested in fighting and defending Christians being killed in Nigeria. To understand the things, there are two different things. And America does not hide her interest when she wants to do what he wants to do. They've said it openly. They brought executive order. They said, this is what we will do. We will do this and this and that. He has even gone ahead to ask Buhari in the public. He said, why are you killing Christians? President Trump is interested in making sure that you don't have more refugees coming into Nigeria from that geographical space called Nigeria. Coming into America, I mean. They don't want refugees. That means they don't actually want war. So for those that are saying we will go to war, we will go to war, some nations will not allow you. They will rather kill you than you are making that noise. If you don't prepare very well, they will circle you, finish you. Because they know that we have 200 million Nigerians that will become refugees if you have anything like that. And America is protecting her land. So stop calling President Trump or any other person to come and give you Biafra or to come and do this or do that, or even calling UN. Because UN has done what the UN needed to do. UN came and declared Nigeria's constitution a pressure cooker for injustice. That means they are agreeing with what LNC is saying. They agree with them. So what else do you want them to do? It's time to use your brain. The only thing that UN Security Council will do next is when we are ready with the referendums, they will supervise them. That is when we are ready. If the people that are distracting us will stop distracting us. America, for instance, is already working with LNC and MNN alliance in order to resolve the instability and the ongoing Christian genocide. What else do you want them to do? Why can't people stop exposing their ignorance? We've told you that the UN DRIP of 2007 has given us the power back. That document has given the indigenous peoples trapped in Nigeria the right to do whatever they want to do. You just need to learn. Now we talk about building a heterogeneous nation, like what we have in Lower Niger, because it's going to be a heterogeneous nation in some aspects. We need to know what it takes to build such a nation. What strategies do we need to work together with the people that have different languages, different cultures, and all that? How do you do it? Do you go on air through broadcast and announce that they're part of you? Is that what you do? No, that's not what you do. So that those that are busy playing around with Nnamdi Kanu should stop this thing that they're doing. Some people that we are warning now, eventually they will lose all their money because they are busy putting their money into a Ponzi scheme. When their money goes like some of us, because we put some money in that Ponzi scheme too, when we didn't know there was alternative. But we were asking questions. We started asking questions. I found out that Nnamdi Kanu is not doing anything to free us. Because nobody forms alliance on the streets of London or streets of America. Especially with Agbeyegbe, like my sister said. You just go and meet any youth that are jobless, they don't have any work. You gather them together. So yeah, come, let's form alliance. That is not the alliance LNC is talking about. We need our people to understand there's cost implication of war, especially the one that does not have strategy. Like what is going on in Sudan, Congo, Somalia, Cameroon. All these things can be avoided. With proper negotiations, the indigenous peoples of Nigeria can actually solve the problem without war. Especially with this new power dynamics, the MNN/NINAS alliance. That is the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. It has been formed. That's the official alliance. And that is how to form an alliance. It's an alliance of platforms and the alliance for indigenous peoples in Middle Belt and South. So our people are actually doing the right thing, but they are being distracted by those that want to make money from their pain, those that want to make money from their sorrows. And we are telling them, you need to stop now. Thank you, Sister Mona.
Thank you, Sister P. You couldn't have said that better. If the Berlin conference can take place in a peaceful manner where they divided their cake peacefully and went their own way without bloodshed, that was when, what was it, 19? How old was that?
It's even 1885, my dear.
1885, and now we're talking about 2020, and some people want bloodshed all over the street, as if the one that SARS is pouring all over our street is not enough, as if the one that the EFCC is pouring all over the street is not enough, as if the one the police are pouring all over the street is not enough. And we mothers of the land are saying enough, enough. Enough, because it's our young boys that is going to die most of the time, because you don't want the girls, you already know where to take them in the hotel room, so you're not killing them. It's our young boys, our future husbands and uncles and sons. That's who you guys are destroying. And we are tired of it. So it's time for us to take a call. If you want to Zoom and Zoom in or call the number, if you have questions for our wonderful guest today, that would be awesome, so that we can move. Hopefully people have understood this, that we are saying that we need to go from point A to point B, that once we have this constitutional force majeure, then we'll have our referendum, then there is an interim government that will oversee what we're doing. Before then we transition to the kind of government that we want. It's just a three-step process. It's not confusing. You know, some people will say, oh, I didn't hear it before, I'm just hearing it now. Again, here it is. From point A to B and to C. That's what we're trying to do, because everything needs a structure. Everything needs a process in order for it to materialize. And it's as easy as that. So the number is posted on our what is it called? On our page, but I can call it out for you. So if you want to Zoom in to give us your contribution for today, please do so. And then if you want to call in, we have it there as well. The number for our WhatsApp is 281-643. Hold on, let me make sure I'm giving the correct information here. Yes, it's 281-643-7283. 281-643-7283. And the Zoom meeting ID is actually, oh my God, I posted the wrong Zoom meeting ID. Okay, let me change that. Is the previous one that we used to have for this. Mrs. August, are you able to pin it for me? Mrs. Augusta, can you pin the Zoom information?
Yes, I'm trying to put it on. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So Mrs. Augusta is going to put in the meeting ID for the Zoom as well as the password. You can reach us on WhatsApp. You can reach us on phone as well, so that we can talk to our guests. Okay. All right. So we want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. This is, I mean, we keep saying that this country can end once we understand the process that we're broadcasting on this platform. That if we understood that all we need is to realize the power rests upon us, to say we no longer want to support this criminal enterprise, because that's what it is. These are a bunch of criminals working together. They come in the form of an Igbo guy, they come in the form of a Shekiri guy, they come in the form of a Yoruba guy, they come in the form of a Fulani guy. They are all business partners, and they have proven this to us. When they have the weddings of their children, they all show up in their private jets, like business partners do, while we all suffer. So isn't it time or hard time that we say we cannot live in a nation where our lives do not matter, where a Zaz or whatever they call themselves can shoot somebody unarmed, shoot them like they are chicken right in front of the street? And we're saying end Nigeria now, end Nigeria like yesterday. End Nigeria is enough. The suffering is enough. The hell is not created for just for we, the so-called Nigerians. I thought the hell mentioned in his Bible is for every sinner. Why is it that the Nigerians are at the headquarters of the jail, of the hell? Why are we there? Why are we residing there? Yeah. Okay, sisters, your final statement before we go, and we do our take-home point. Mr. Agbeyegbe, do you have something else to add before we end? Hold on. Let me unmute you. Okay, you have to unmute your phone. It won't let me. Unmute the phone. Okay, go ahead.
I am very concerned with the listening or watching audience, because all the points you have made as to the positions they take, which are very retarded and very unprogressive, is part of what is holding us back. If by chance, and it has to be by chance because of what some of us do know, an Igbo man becomes president of Nigeria tomorrow, it will not change the suffering of a single anybody who wanted to call himself Biafra, let alone change the fortunes of anybody who is called a Nigerian today. The instrument of operation, the 1999 Constitution, is a slave document. It is couched to achieve a particular objective. It is meant so that the 13 trillion naira that I was talking about earlier on will be shared amongst those who have contributed nothing, even though the 13 trillion comes from the backyard of the Lower Niger Congress area and people. What else can be slavery? There are 774 local government areas waiting, mouths opened to swallow 13 trillion naira, out of which they have produced
nothing.
How can anybody say he is a Nigerian when all his participation is limited to the cutting away of the resources that God gave him, and the subservience of the people that have been crafted out of so-called rules of federal behavior and so on and so forth? So, ladies and gentlemen, is it a crime that we in LNC say that slavery should stop? Would you rather die a slave? If you will not, then you must listen to the sisters of truth who have spent their time, effort, and I'm sure expense in a lot of cases to be bringing you an updated version of what becoming a free Nigerian is all about. There's only one platform where that happens. I am not advertising, I'm telling you the truth, and that is the fact. And I want to associate and share the sentiments that the sisters of truth, the daughters of truth, are bringing to your screen on a very regular basis. Please patronize them. Please contribute to their continued efforts so that our uhuru can be real. God bless you all.
God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. We'll have to let him go. He has done a good job. You know, he's quite a busy man. He's running around trying to save you and me. So we'll just call it a day and let him have some rest, and we can take your questions and concerns as to, we are well versed in this topic, and we also have our brother to back it up. Right. So call out your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Clifford Chukwuemeka Irwanya, and I am calling from Houston, Texas. And I'm very happy to be on this platform, and especially today that our daddy, Dr. Fred Agbeyegbe, I'm going to mention double PhD, is on the program today. Why I am very happy is there have been this misinformation. First of all, it started with the misinformation that Lower Niger Congress is being sponsored by federal government of Nigeria, and that the DSS and Buhari and co are using the Lower Niger Congress to scuttle the so-called self-determination agitation of certain groups. That is number one. Number two is that the Lower Niger Congress starts and ends with Tony Nnadi. That Tony Nnadi is the president of LNC, he is the treasurer of LNC, he is the financial secretary of LNC, he is the of LNC. In fact, he is the A and Z of LNC. Today, we are seeing the president of the Lower Niger Congress live in the person of Fred Agbeyegbe, double PhD. We are seeing him live. This is no longer, therefore, why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that those who are still living the propaganda, those who are still listening to somebody who is a fugitive, please, if you have not had this word, if you have not, taken time to find out the meaning of this word, F-U-G-I-T-I-V-E. It is called fugitive. Go and find out the meaning of the word fugitive. A fugitive is telling you that Tony is the President General, is the Financial Secretary, the Treasurer, the A to Z of Lower Niger Congress. Today, we have in our midst the President of Lower Niger Congress. Here he is, live, Dr. Fred Agbeyegbe, double PhD. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I know why I'm making this speech. I'm not here to maybe ask questions, but I want to bring this point out. So those who are watching today, those who are going home after the day, watching this program, you must go home with that knowledge that the Lower Niger Congress has a president, and he has been on the program today, the 10th day of October 2020, and here he is. Thank you very much, sir, and I appreciate your presence, and God bless you.
Amen. You too.
All right. So thank you, Mazi. Thank you so much. All right. So we're going to read our take-home point. I'm going to put up that screen.
This from where? They mentioned where is in the US. Okay.
He works for the pipeline company in the US. He worked for Shell before.
Hold on. Someone is talking. Hold on. We're still on. All right. All right, so we have our take-home point as usual. And again, the purpose of this take-home point is to gear your mind towards what is the overall point of all the things that we talked about today. So we know that the first step in solving the Nigerian sovereignty problem is to pull down the military decree termed 1999 Constitution. The LNC and its eminent alliance is the custodian of the body of knowledge needed to peacefully resolve Nigeria's sovereignty and its security problems. And we're saying this because we don't want war. We, the mothers of the land, we are not interested in war. We don't want any more bloodshed in our land. This makes sense. Why people, Westerners, they've been doing this all along. There's no reason why we have not learned enough to go our separate ways without killing one another. This has been presented as an open memorandum to the so-called Buhari by the Self-Determination Collective in Nigeria. They detail step by step the process by which the fundamental reconfiguration of Nigeria can be undertaken. So it's not like he's not aware. So we know that we have, people are trying to log in now. And this is one of the things that we have to do things differently, folks. We have to do things differently. We've mentioned logging in for a while now, and we are just logging in now. Should I take this login, sisters, or what? Yeah.
Sister Muna, go ahead.
So
log the person in.
Yeah, we really have to do better, guys. Do better.
I think sometimes it's their network, when they start to log in, it might take them 10 minutes to get in.
I forgot they live there. There's a place called hell.
Because they're coming from hell.
Called hell that people live in.
Okay, it's even our brother.
All right. Good day, brother. Your name and where you're calling from. Let me stop sharing so you can see him.
Are you talking to me? Because I don't know.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, my dear. I'm good. Daughters of Zion. It's like a blessed day to see our elder, to see our father in our midst. Yeah. This is a dream that people like me have been dreaming for so many years. Because in Igbo culture or Igbo proverb, and I say our problem, as we are looking to this federal government of Nigeria, also we have internal problem as well. We must understand this. If we don't understand that, we have a very huge mountain of trouble in our home within the Biafran territory. That person is lying. It's the inability to recognize who we are and unite ourselves to form a common strong front to confront the Nigerian government. If we haven't put ourselves together, put our home in order to be able to mount that front, and that is one thing Nigerian government is afraid of, is the unity of the Biafran people. If we are united, if we be able to put all our trouble and our differences behind us and put what matters to us, the future of our children and their children and their children, before our differences with anyone else, then we might be like just sitting down here and gossiping something that will never happen. That's why today is like a blessed day. May God Almighty keep people like him longer and the ability with good health to serve this purpose to the end. This is very important. Many people don't know. Before they disorganized us, it was Dr. Michael Okpara who built the Trans-Amadi Industrial Estate in Port Harcourt. It was Michael Okpara, during Michael Okpara regime, who built Presidential Hotel Port Harcourt. There is a lot that united our people in the past, but they made it so big that we hate each other and then start calling all sorts of names. You are Niger Delta and you are this, you are that. That never happened in the past. In most of the oil installations in Ogoniland was founded and was paid, was constructed by during the Old Eastern region. The former president, the first president, of what is today Ohaneze Ndigbo in the past was Igbo Union. The first president was from River State. So seeing him today is like a very big symbol. And I hope that Mona, you should take it up to you, like to bring in him, not only anytime you come on Medium, whether in the Radio Biafra, whether in the this or that, you only see the faces of the Igbo people. You are not fighting for the Biafra of Igbo people. You are fighting for the entire Biafran territory, which we are openly, wholeheartedly love them, cherish them so much that, like my junior sister, married from Uyo in Akwa Ibom, we intermarry without even a question. We are one people. We are one united family. So if we can be able to put an end to these divisions that the enemies wanted us to be divided, right now as we speak, with that division, Mona, they have something they call AKK, this AKK contract, heading to in Owerri. Probably where the last speaker came from, my dear brother Clifford Iranya, somebody I like his pedigree so much, right from the time that we are in IPOB. When he somehow depart from IPOB, the trouble began. The collapse of IPOB started. It's just only like talking now, no action. Today, they are building a pipeline at Jokuta, Kaduna, Kano.
Kano, yes, AKK.
To loot our, now oil is going away.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have switched. If they continue taking away something that our children should have counted on, what left for us? Oil is gone. Now they switch to the current market now, the world are looking for, the world are moving because of the climate change, the world are moving to the natural gas. Now the largest concentration of natural gas is in our land, which is in Ohaji. Right now, they have laid a pipeline to take it away to the Kano. Mm-hmm. What kind of Nigeria me and you are?
While keeping their gold to Zamfara alone, their gold, they are also mining gold, and the gold, they are gold and even diamonds. So they are keeping it to Zamfara alone, to their own northern region. The oil in Jigawa belongs to the oil in Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa, but the gold in Zamfara belongs to Zamfara.
Yes. Do you know that every December, I'm just only talking only 1 month alone, every Christmas, average in the Igbo, within the Biafran territory, within only the Igbo territory, at least spend over 20-something billion in cows alone. Where is the money count in a federation account? Where is the money count? They pay no tax. They are living in the bush. Right now, they have accumulated all our riverine areas, all the waterways, to reserve it as a grazing reserve to Fulanis that we don't know anything about them.
Foreigners.
They close all the borders around the south and open only one single border, which is the border to Niger and Chad, and bringing all these aliens we don't know about and heading them to the east. So if we remain divided, calling ourselves Niger Delta, calling ourselves South-South, which is South-South has no place. Clifford Iranya, he's one of the person I respect his intellect. There is no place in geography, both are in school, I am a student, there is no place in geography you have South-South. It doesn't exist. There is no space in the history of geography called South-South. It doesn't exist. It's just simply divide and rule tactics. We all know this. So let us keep those things behind and come as one, a united front to fight and liberate ourselves and liberate our children, particularly our children. Mona, they want me and you to travel to America. They want me and you to travel to Europe on HE and do all sorts of jobs and leave our land vacuum. That's what they are doing. The more we leave the country, the more they frustrate us into the land, the more we leave, the more we keep more vacuum.
So that they can take it over. So yes, that Fulanese and Chinese will come exactly. And take it.
Exactly, that's what is going on. That's your beautiful home now, as I'm looking at it, that's your beautiful home. Mona, if you pack your family and leave that home for like 3 or 4 months. If you come back, that place will not contain you. It takes you like 2 or 3 days to clean it up before you can sleep there. Do you know that?
Yes.
That is vacuum. The vacuum we are creating in Igbo land, in the entire Biafran territory, is too dangerous.
It is. It is.
And they want me and you to travel and create that vacuum. The more we travel, the more they feel more comfortable. That's one video I saw on online last time. You know, where they caught one ugly Fulani young man. He raped one of our mother in his farm in Ebonyi State. Do you know what this guy said? That I only go one round. That he only go one round to his own grandmother. Do you understand what that means? Because we are not at home. Probably that woman has no children at home. All her children has left. Either because of the economic blockade in our land, push us, either you are in diaspora within Nigeria or you are completely overseas. They are pushing us around from east to west, north and south.
And they don't want you to come back. Now
they don't want you to come back. They don't want you to come back.
Yeah,
they don't want you to come back because you coming back it means that you are going to possess the land. They don't want you to possess the land. They want you to create that vacuum, and they will feed the vacuum. Before you come back home, they have already taken what belongs to you. So the example is this project called AKK contract. Is the example. You know, you ask yourself, why not do the primary industry there and then send them the finished product? They are taking it raw and building the refinery in Ajokuta, Kanu, and Kaduna. Create the job there. Then you will now live as exploits. They exploit from you, and then they will now go and create the job. Meaning that now all the gifts, all the blessings of God Almighty Chukwu Abiyama gave to us and our children and their children have been taken away by the enemies and leave us behind. And the only thing you get is military occupation, gun on your head. You cannot even speak. They take your phone, they check your phone, they check email you have, they check everything. That means there is a gun on our head. You can't even speak. So the only way is to unite of the East. That's one point I love Tony. That's something that Tony has been doing that are not all that visible because of the lack of media, because of the preponderance of media. If you don't have media that represents you, if you don't have media that speaks for you, you will be vulnerable. Your enemies, their voice will be heard, while your own, you will be just shouting and crying, nobody hear about your own problem. That's why media is so good. You know, our people don't know the importance of media. They are depending on buying and selling, which any government, any stupid government like Buhari can come in and crush you and your business overnight.
The same day.
That's what is going on. That's why he better fell in his cement factory. That's why he better fell on his petrochemical industry, which he was building in Port Harcourt. That's why he continued collapsing. And they cannot listen that all this one-story building you are building in Abuja or Kanu or Kaduna or even in Lagos, that cannot guarantee the security of your children. It can never guarantee the future of your children. I don't know what kind of business you are doing that you cannot think at least a long time. You know, our people are so gullible in a way that they are not all that sensible enough to understand that you have to do something. At least you think about your children and your children's children, because you can die at any time. I don't want to take too much time, but you know, like seeing our father today makes me so much happy. I think this is the step, the beginning. This is something that we can be bringing him always. Only to see him on social media or like showing his face to our people, it means a lot to us. We can start working there and unite, touching places, not only one particular place, not only like an organization you can come. The director is a Igbo man. The deputy director is a Igbo man. And you are there telling them that you are running Biafra. What signal are you telling people?
What are you talking about? He has his secret, his deputy has
then it's better. You know, the people are not stupid. then it's better they remain where they are than going to something that are almost comparable to where they are coming from, where you are telling them to come out.
Worse. It's worse. What Nnamdi Kanu wants to do is worse.
My sister, I don't like discussing about my brothers in the open. I don't like to talk about my brothers.
No, that you talk to him in private.
Never criticize. I will never criticize.
No, hold on. You need to go and talk to him in private. Because if you don't tell him to stop what he's doing, we have now told you all the people sabotaging what we're doing. Now you're saying we should come together. LNC used 6 years to bring our people together. What did Nnamdi Kanu do? Nnamdi Kanu went on air, called Tony Nnadi names, told him that he's working for one Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu alone is bringing a serious impediment to our freedom. You're saying we should unite, yet we're not ready to own truth. We're not ready to tell ourselves truth, eyeball to eyeball. What are you saying? Go and talk to Nnamdi Kanu in private. If you don't talk to him in private, we, the daughters of truth, we call his name in public. Anybody that wants to do anything should start doing it now, because we're not waiting anymore. Call all those your brothers in private if you want, because we don't have time for private meetings anymore.
Yes,
we are done with private meetings.
Yes, my dear.
If you want to talk to him, talk to him.
Yes, my dear.
Thank you.
But what I'm saying is, we should like try to put ourselves together. And when my grandmom, my grandmom and Agwam always before she left. Also, someone is in the shower, like in on our bathroom, na saho, a fonya on our boss or baroton, our boss on Apple, a mapata from bathroom, so sonaga. So other people who are around, in our boss onaga, Amazonia Bonyara, Mawuguma, Mozonia Nacho. So the point is, we try to comport ourselves in a manner that only our body language can be able to bring our people. I believe that I can swallow my differences with anyone in order to pursue something I know that is so secret to our brother, existence. To our existence.
I'm not
listen now. I'm coming.
Okay.
Let us put our differences. That's what leadership is all about.
This is not even differences.
You can never get anything 100%. You can never get anything 100%.
Well done. This is not differences. This is that Nnamdi Kanu intentionally and criminally is working against what people have put in place to set the people free. This is more like calling a criminal out. This is not differences. So people are not understanding it. We were in IPOB. We were principal officers there. And we found out that Nnamdi Kanu is not doing anything. He's not working towards the freedom of our people. And we are not here to paint words. We're not here to say, it's not about, don't call your brother. Of course, there are some of our brothers that are doing some things that we're not calling here, because we know those ones just differences. So we are not babies. We know difference between me and somebody having differences and somebody being a criminal. Somebody being a criminal and openly and unrepentantly working towards the freedom of our people. And we're saying we're no more patient with that. We
exactly.
People's freedom. That is what he's doing.
Exactly. I was not angry.
All my men making here. I don't know why the truth is so difficult for you all to say. Say it the way it is, and let's set a whole lot of people free. Because some people still believe, brother, because I'm not cutting you short. Some people still believe it's going to get them Biafra. Some people still believe that. They believe that he is going to magically formulate or get them Biafra. I spoke to my in-law just 2 or 3 days ago, and the in-law was telling me that Nnamdi has already met with Donald Trump. For crying out loud, you and I know he has not even been to the White House. Right. You and I know that for him to even meet the janitor, the cleaner, for him to meet the cleaner in the White House, he has to be vetted. They have to vet him, check his criminal records. Check to see if he has a criminal, they'll check his background. And they'll run a criminal background on him to see if he's even able to come into the White House. And yet our people are believing all the ruses, all the lies that Nnamdi is telling, trying to build a Dorado that is not there. It is not the truth. The truth is the only thing that's going to set us free.
And actually,
it will not help us. We are not coming in contact or in close quarters with a criminal.
Let me remind you.
A fraudster, period.
Yes, let me remind you something. You know, when I hear you girls talking, it reminds me the the viciousness of our women, the role our women played in our life, especially in Biafra land. From the riot, from the uprising in Aba to something they call August meeting today was formed immediately after the Civil War to help our men who were suffering to rebuild from ruins of war. So that I can see the blood really boiling. And it makes me so much happy that we still have in this generation, no matter the generational gap that they created in order to bring us down and wave away who we are. Still, you can still have some women with hot blood, that same revolutionary mentality, that same hot blood still boiling in them, yearning for a better life, yearning for a better life.
You know why?
Mona, that's something you will do for me.
And the lives of our children are endangered, and that's why we are passionate about this. And that's why
Exactly.
you see in any generation that you see, you will find that the mothers of the land will always fight for their children. So if the husband is asleep, the husband doesn't want to do it, the men don't want to do it, the mothers of the land will come out to defend the land for their children.
Exactly. And that gives hope to our people. Women are the hope. And if you are looking around now, you find out that the most beautiful and the most intelligent girls and women in our land right now choose to marry outside our border, which is either in Hausa land or in the Yoruba land. Why? Because our men are not at home. As we are not at home, we are traveling here and there. The best in us have been taken away. That's entirely human resources. A lot are happening. We need to make haste. That's why I try to put aside whatever quarrel with ourselves and put what matters.
Brother, please.
A lot is going on.
I don't like you talking from both sides of your mouth, because this is the problem we've had with our men. They are unable, hold on, please. They are unable to be consistent. We told you that Nnamdi Kanu is running a criminal franchise, and we're not joking about it. We have evidence. We are not angry. We are saying we are not angry like because we want to be angry and shout. No. What we are saying is that Nnamdi Kanu needs to be stopped. Do you understand that? There's no combination between what LNC is doing and the criminal franchise. So there's no union.
Yeah,
there's
but
no
I'm
union
not here to discuss about that.
Hold on.
I'm not here to discuss about
liberation project and the criminal franchise. You get us upset. You get the women of the land upset when you are playing politics. And we say we are not playing politics with the freedom of our people. We don't want men talking with both sides of their mouth. Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal. We have proven it in this show. People that know him should tell him off the road. You should close shop.
But the point.
Okay, if you're not fair enough to say we need you out of our way.
Exactly. But the point is, I am not.
There's no point here. There's no point. Thank you.
All right, sorry. And then we have iPhone, please, your name, the one in red. You're wearing a red shirt. I don't see your name. Your name and where
excuse me. Please, my name is Dirac. So I'm from Tokyo. I'm in Japan. I want to ask you people something.
From where? You're from where?
Tokyo. I'm in Japan. You're
from Tokyo and you're in Japan? Okay.
Right. So I want to ask you people something. Like that sister said that about restructuring Nigeria. That's what we are fighting for, isn't it? But no, I listened to all your listening. So what I'm saying is this. You said that the North have already gone out by restructuring themselves. What's the need of calling for restructuring again? Hence, you know that those people, the North have already restructured themselves by building railways to Niger, electricity on their own. Why are you people still? I'm not a member of IPOB. I'm not a member of any organization. But I'm telling you the truth. Nigeria of today, you can't get it by restructuring. We are just wasting our time. And there's no freedom in this world.
Answer him.
Let me tell you, there's no freedom in this world. What do you
understand, sir? What do you understand as restructuring?
Let me come. There's no freedom in this world is get by free. It's not a free gift. you must put something on the ground before you get that freedom. That's one thing you have to understand. Thank you.
Okay,
So,
okay, thank you. We'll answer you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Doctor,
Hello.
I think Brother
Can you hear me?
Attorney on air.
By myself.
Yeah, but Attorney wants to answer you, please.
The last caller.
Hello.
The last caller.
Hello.
Sister Muna, talk to Jerry Patrick.
I get it.
Can you hold on, please?
Okay.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
For a moment. Jerry Patrick, hold on for a moment.
Hold on, Jerry Patrick, yes.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Excuse me.
Okay.
I'm gonna remove someone. When you log in, mute yourself. That's sign of respect. So you're not disrupting what we are doing. Mute yourself, number one. When it's time for you to speak, we will let you know. Please.
Okay.
Yes. Now, in answer to the question of why talk of restructuring at the time we, the restructuring, the open memorandum to the president written by the MNN Alliance in November of 2018, open memorandum on restructuring is actually the clearest detail of the kind of reconstruction, the kind of fundamental reconfiguration that is self-determination collective, those seeking self-determination in the East, in the West, in the Middle Belt will accept. And that reconfiguration will be in two stages, no less. Starting with the fact that the Constitution, 75% of the effort, 75% of the tasks for the liberation of anybody in Nigeria is the taking down of the 1999 Constitution. It ends the union created by that Constitution. And the LNC was clear-minded when it set up its process to say, let us have a majority. Those who are choking in the Niger Delta, those who are choking in Yoruba land, those who are choking in the Middle Belt, to come together, because the Sharia that was introduced by the 12 states of the far north in year 2000 was interpreted by us as secession from the secular union we're building. We actually believe that the union was already at an end from the point they took that step. But what do we do to take our own portions out? We then said, let those who are fed up with this union of death work together to take down that constitution. And therefore, the reconstruction, the restructuring can end in either a federation, a confederation, or a no union. And that was why we put a map to it, the map that is broken into four. You see the Sharia territory, you see the Yoruba bloc, you see the Lower Niger, you see the Middle Belt. And what we say has to happen, which must now happen. That's what the constitutional force majeure is about to bring to be. That everybody will come to where there's no union. Everybody will then go to referendum to recommit to any union at all. It is at that point of referendum that those who want to carry on in the union will be voting yes, that they want to resume union with those who have embraced Sharia. If they vote no, like the Yoruba are saying to everybody right now, that they are fed up with the union, you cannot call Yoruba to a meeting of discussing Nigeria. So that restructuring that you think means only one thing. Self-determination can mean 100% self-determination, meaning you outright independence. It can be 80% self-determination, that is confederation. It can be 60% self-determination, the kind of federation we had before. And so the task of those who seek liberation is to bring the union to where that choice is actually made. Not in 20 years' time, not in 50 years' time. We had a 20-year plan that had been executed. And that's why the Vice President of Nigeria will raise alarm that the union walls are cracked. And everybody saw what we went to say about it 2 days after, that crack is coming from the foundation, which is the Constitution. If we take down that Constitution today, we'll be putting a date to when we're voting in referendum, because the remedy available to us in the constitutional grievance of having our signature on a constitution we didn't make, the remedy available to us from the UN instrument of 2007, which I had the privilege of being part of how it came, is the right to self-determination. It's not dependent on whether the government in Abuja or the Fulani or anybody agrees with us. So those who seek liberation and who are working against the taking down of that constitution that will take us to transition and referendum are actually the biggest impediments we have on the task, on the journey to this freedom. They are the ones who, if they remove themselves right now, we will be where we are going to. And if you look at the map, you see that the territory you want independence for is already outlined. You see that the constitution standing your way is going down. You see that the guns that the enemy has, we have found an answer to it. There are people who are going all over the place now pretending they're talking to people in Washington to come and give them Biafra. Nobody's discussing Biafra in Washington, but Washington is prepared to stop anybody who will kill Christians. And we found a way to structure it in such a way that by the time we begin to do what we have to do in enforcement of the positions we have taken together, those who want to shoot at us will find themselves on a head-on collision with the U.S. national security machinery. That's three-quarters of what we need to succeed. The guns they have cannot solve their problem now. The National Assembly cannot step in for them. National Conference cannot solve it for them. Why can't we use our head? Why can't we look at what the propositions are to know exactly what our responses should be? We have a process that will end the referendum. It's only when we vote to remain in the union that will remain in the union. What's difficult about understanding that? If not that people are bent on making business out of the misery of other people.
Thank you, Maz. You know, our people, they've been beaten down for so many years. Sometimes their thinking faculties are not even working. Like I said, this is an easy process. You get the constitutional force major, take the 1999 constitution down, you get a referendum, we get an interim government, and then we finally transition to the government that we want. It's just as simple as that. So anybody that is not understanding, there's nothing else that we can do for you. So thank you, Maz.
Daughters of truth, don't be dissuaded by anybody who believes in flippancy as a cure or solution to the ailment that has put him and his generations down, and he has no idea how to go about it. Because that is all that what that young man said represented.
Right.
Because it is suggested that the North is already restructuring, he would rather stay where he is and die as a slave. We should thank him for his bravery to come and make a nuisance of himself in an international broadcast like the one that's ongoing. We should also ask him for his wisdom in replacement of what we have been working on in the past how many years. LNC has been at it for 21 years. I, Agbeyegbe, President of Lower Niger Congress, President of Ishekiri People's Congress, President of Movement for New Nigeria, a NADECO person, foundation-wise, Frederick Fasehun, may God bless his soul, and I were the co-founders of the Coalition of Ethnic Nationalities of Nigeria at CEN. We are in Pronaco, and that young man believes that he can come and put a spanner in the works to show that he's loyal to whoever his payers are. We congratulate him. We thank him for having such a beautiful idea of how to become less of a slave. But don't be dissuaded. Don't let anybody
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
affect what you are doing. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Tanya Alexander, your video on, your name and where you're calling from, if that's your true name. Tanya, are you on? Unmute yourself. Tanya. Tanya Alex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Sorry. I'm actually using my girlfriend's thing to call because mine is not in place at the moment to get into your Zoom. I've tried with mine, it didn't work. So it's not Tanya calling, it's Obi calling actually. So I just need to make that clear.
Okay, Obi, welcome.
Okay. Yeah. See, I've been watching you guys and I've been listening to what you've been saying.
Can you turn on your video, please?
I know I'm actually at work at the moment, so you wouldn't be seeing me on uniform.
Okay.
This wouldn't be right for for that. So I mean, my voice is okay just at the moment. I'll probably call other time. So anyway, just to go straight to the point, what I'm saying is this. You see, I've listened to what you guys have been saying, and I suppose different groups in Nigeria have different opinions and different ways of doing this. And the point is, I think it doesn't serve anyone if we, in the process of trying to achieve this freedom, talk others down. I think the main thing is that we are able to come together, individual group. There's no one group that's going to be able to achieve what everyone
Can we go
is
to the
yearning
next caller?
for.
Can we go to the next caller? We can't be wasting time on this kind of nonsense. Let's go to the next caller.
And that's the
Tony,
problem we are having.
Let's go to the next caller.
Hold on. This is not Omunna meeting. We have a target on this platform, and we want our people to respect that. Please, we are not coming to ask whether we should listen to every stupid group that is bent on making money from our people. We can't be talking with both sides of our mouth. Please, respect our view on that. Thank you.
Okay, Nell, you can go ahead. Nell, your video, your name and where you're calling from. Nell?
Let them know how serious it is.
Nell, go ahead. Nell?
Hello?
Yes, can you turn on your video?
Yeah.
You see, when they can't turn in their video, it shows that they're up to something else.
Yeah, he's at work, but he has his girlfriend's this thing.
It doesn't make, does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Your girlfriend working the same place.
I can turn on my video.
Please do. We will appreciate it so that we know who we're talking to.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Good morning.
you got the full name and where you're calling from.
I just joined the program, so maybe I would listen a bit more before I can contribute.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. All right.
All right. So we are about ending, brother Nell. I'm not sure if that's your full name. You did give us your name anyway, since you're on the video. What's your name? Or unmute yourself.
My name is Nelson Wani.
Oh, okay. And you're calling from where?
Abuja.
Oh, you're calling from Abuja. Okay, welcome. All right, so we're talking about taking down the constitution. This is the topic that will be, there's been ongoing on our platform, how we need to take down the Decree 24 called 1999 Constitution so that we can go our own separate way and liberate our people from all of these, the indigenous people trapped in this hell, I call it hell and shithole country called Nigeria. We really have to go. We made a point here to say that the people, the Northerners, they've left the Union a long time ago when they made their Sharia law and they have their Sharia constitution. And we are watching, sitting on our behind, watching, and they are piping all our resources to their land with the help of the Westerners. That's who is doing it, because Fulani man don't know what, they don't even know where the oil is. So someone out there is helping them pipe our resources directly to their land, and our people are watching them parading themselves to go and participate in 2023 election. And we're telling our people this is a criminal enterprise. We have criminals running a country called Nigeria. They are working under a fraudulent constitution that they did not make. They even had the audacity to say, we the people, on their stupid constitution. And we say we don't want any more. And we don't want anarchy or war. We don't want to lose our boys and our girls. We don't want this delay. I know, look at you. Think about all the potentials that you have, but each time you turn around, the system will bring it down. You're not reaching your full potential. We will never reach our full potential in that country called Nigeria. And we're saying, let's divide this place like they did their 1860, whatever, Berlin Conference. They came when and divided their national cake and went away. Nobody died. We don't need to die anymore as brown people. It's enough. We're talking about
USSR, 15 countries came out of USSR. Czechoslovakia, all these things have been happening in Western world. They sit down, negotiate, talk, and just go their ways.
And you know, the funny thing is that their population is even very minuscule. They're very, so tiny. So tiny a population that we're talking about. They can easily divide and go. And this is us, 200. I'm sure the data is wrong about Nigeria. We are probably more. We are probably more than the United States. 200 million people is ungovernable. There's nothing we can do, and we cannot go our separate ways. Duh, what is holding us? What is holding us?
So people are lying to themselves. That is what is holding us. People are not telling themselves truth.
NSA or NSAS is trending, and we're saying Nigeria should be trending.
Nigeria should be trending. Nigeria should be trending.
Trending.
If we have our own policing, will SARS be going up and down, killing people for no reason? If we have our own army or whatever, will they be going up and down, killing people for no reason? They are killing, and guess who they are killing? Young boys, young girls. They are not killing the people that are about to share $13 trillion into their coffers. They are not killing people like that. They're just killing young boys, young girls. If they see you with iPhone, they see you with dreadlock, they just shoot you. They will collect your iPhone. They will go and make sure that you transfer all your money into their own accounts. They will shave your head. What kind of a country? We say we live in a democracy. What democracy is there, for crying out loud?
All right, caller, your name and where you're calling from. You're the last caller. We need to call it a day. Your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead. We're waiting for you. You have your hand up already. Go ahead.
What's his name? He's not putting his name. Where is he?
I think he's trying to work on his device. You can hear?
You can hear. Okay,
that's
let's
side then.
do the take home points and go.
Yeah, that's from your side if you can hear. So sorry. Yeah, because you're unmuted, so I don't know why you're not hearing. All right, so we're saying we need to end Nigeria as it is. We don't want our young ones dying anymore. We don't want this bloodshed. There's no reason for it. We have come of age now where we can actually do this thing amicably and go our own way. So let this thing be done as soon as possible, because if we understand that the power rests upon us, we can easily take down this constitution and go through the transitioning so that we can find right now we're behind, we're 1 million years behind. So we can begin to make haste, like my brother said earlier. So this is awful. This is just too painful to watch, especially when you know what to do and then you have to watch mediocrity everywhere. It's so sad. So like we said, our take-home point is that the first step in solving this problem that we have in Nigeria is to put down that military decree, term 1999 constitution that we'll be talking about all along. We know that LNC is the custodian of the body of knowledge needed to peacefully resolve Nigeria's sovereignty and security problem. This has been presented even to an open memorandum to the so-called Buhari of a guy president. And the step-by-step process has been given to him on how we can undertake this agenda. So also we can appreciate that we have repudiated and rejected the 1999 Constitution and a formal notification by the South and the Middle Belt, which was done through the Freedom Park Proclamation, that no further general election under this fraudulent 1999 Constitution would be acceptable to us. We are done. And we're calling out Peter Obi and his criminal gang members that they should not continue to play with the lives of our people. We are not going to watch you guys where your children are hiding in Harvard and then in Connecticut or wherever you're hiding them in your private homes all over the world. You will leave them in a clean place. Then you will come be playing Abro in our land. That's what you guys are doing, playing Abro in our land so that you can go and share money and then get more money from the one that you already had. We are sick of it. You guys are despicable human beings. I've never seen. Disgusting. Sister, go ahead. Let me put this in for you. I didn't even know mine wasn't up. So I have this up so you can share, do your Igbo version of it. So
okay. Thank you, Sister Mona. Ndị be anyị ndewonu. Ihe mbụ anyị kwesịrị ime na nsogbu Nigeria bụ ịdọtụgodu ntọala ha bụ Decree 24 nke ndị amị jiri wee kegbuo ma tụkwa anyị mkpọrọ. Nke ịbụọ bụ na ọ bụ ndị otu LNC MNN Alliance bụ ndị ji amamihe ihe mkpughe n'usoro ndị nna anyị ha depụtara ka e were dozie esemokwu dị n'etiti ndị mba niile ekere agbụ n'ime Nigeria. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ya, ha dere ma zijekwara onye isi ala ndị Nigeria a na-akpọ Buhari usoro a. Ha jikwa nwayọọ kọwara ya usoro a n'otu n'otu, so ọ gaghị asị na ọ ghọtaghị ya. Nke ikpeazụ na ndị mba Middle Belt nakwa mba ọdịda anyanwụ South ekpebiela ma kwubie si na ọ bụ ohi ka ndị ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, ndị politicians n'okwu nwa bekee, ndị na-ekwu okwu ntụnye aka n'akwụkwọ na gọọmenti etiti na-ezu ndị obodo. N'ihi na onye ọkụ na-agba bie anaghị achụ oke. Kedu ka ndị obodo si ekwu okwu nnwere onwe ma ndị ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị a na-ekwu okwu esi ebinyere ha aka n'akwụkwọ ka ha ga were zuo anyị ohi n'aka ndị ji anyị n'ụlọ mkpọrọ? Biko ndị be anyị, oge erugo mgbe anyị ga-enwere onwe anyị. Ndewonu.
Ndewo nwanyị ọma. Sister Augusta, please.
Sister Ekwe, that was too much. Anyway, I'm just going to try. Àwọn ará wa ẹ káàárọ̀ àtúntò wa bí a ṣe ń wá. Nǹkan tá a fẹ́ sọ ni pé ìgbésẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ ní ìpinnu ọba ẹ̀ láṣẹ Nàìjíríà ni pé a máa fa 1999 constitution yẹn sílẹ̀. A máa fà á sílẹ̀ àti ní pé a fẹ́ mọ́, a fẹ́ ká fà á sílẹ̀. So nǹkan tá a máa ń kọ́, kìíní tá a máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe nìyẹn. Àwọn military ló decree ẹ̀, wọ́n dẹ̀ fún wa ní decree 24. Wọ́n wá pè ní 1999 constitution. Àti sọ pé a ò fẹ́, so a máa need láti fà á sílẹ̀. Àwọn LNC àti MNN parapọ̀, àwọn ni wọ́n ní ìtumọ̀ ju nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. Àwọn ló máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ yanjú gbogbo kinní. Àwọn ló ní ìtumọ̀ jù, àwọn ló máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́, sọ àwọn ló ní idea gbogbo nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe. Àwọn dẹ̀ ló máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ tá a máa fi solve ẹ̀. So gbogbo yẹn la tún sọ. Kíkiní yẹn kó tó ṣẹlẹ̀, a ti kọ́kọ́ fún Buhari, president orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, a ti kọ́kọ́ fún ní àkọsílẹ̀ nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe. A dẹ̀ sọ fún bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe step by step. A ti sọ fún pé báyìí la ṣe fẹ́ ṣe o. Òun ló wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ láti jẹ́ ká gba gbogbo òmìnira tá a ti ń sọ nípa ẹ̀. A dẹ̀ ti fà sọ fún mi pé a ò fẹ́ 1999 constitution mọ́. Àwọn South East, àwọn Middle Belt, wọ́n ṣe Freedom Park ní 2018. A dẹ̀ ti sọ pé a ò fẹ́ mọ́, òmìnira la fẹ́, a ò fẹ́ 1999 constitution, a ò dẹ̀ ní dìgbò mọ́, a ti sọ pé a ò ní dìgbò mọ́. So a fẹ́ kàn sọ gbogbo kinní ilẹ̀, tán bá dẹ̀ lè sọ lẹ̀ ṣọ̀pọ̀ ló mọ́ wọn apá gbogbo wọn díẹ̀díẹ̀. Nǹkan tá a fẹ́ sọ nìyẹn o. Ẹ ṣé gan púpọ̀. Thank you. I tried.
Thank you guys for joining us once again. We will see you back, and we cannot thank our guest of honor today, Sister Augusta. I'll let you help me, Fred Agbeyegbe.
Agbeyegbe. Yeah, Agbeyegbe.
For joining us. Dr. Fred, I have this anointing to destroy people's names, so you're not the first. That's true. Oh, sorry, man. You know, we love you, and we thank you.
Yes, you do.
I am prepared to forgive you for things you have not even committed. Because of the good work you are doing.
Yeah. Thank you
so much. We appreciate your time. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.